Hello, welcome to Wrestle MSX. I'm Michael.
I'm Sally.
Penta defeated JD McDonagh.
Sheamus defeated Austin Theory.
IYO SKY defeated Roxanne Perez.
Rusev defeated Otis.
And Jey Uso versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight title ended in a no contest after CM Punk intervened. Now, if you want to know what actually happened, subscribe and then continue watching. Seth offers Jey a favour.
McAfee's getting dropped like a wet towel.
And CM Punk returns. It's just me, Us, is how we kick things off with Jey making his way down through the crowd. When he gets in the ring and after a second helping of Yeet, the World Heavyweight Champion calls out Logan Paul. But it's another Paul that answers the call, Paul Heyman. Jey says he saw past Heyman from day one and warned his cousin and CM Punk about him. Heyman said that Punk put him in a position that would 100% sabotage his relationship with Reigns, which it did. Then Reigns left him with the Tongans after losing his title, which nearly ended his career. And then when Roman did come back, it was for the Ula Fala and not to avenge what had happened to Heyman. Heyman then just about lost his ship, saying, "And I'm the betrayer, the double-crosser in a situation." But not this time. The crowd then chant "a-hole" with Jey asking if he's okay, then adds what this has to do with him. Heyman says he didn't come out here to talk about Punk and Reigns, then goes on about Jey not knowing what kind of power being champion wields, or words to that effect. He adds that although Jey wants to be champion, Seth Rollins has to be champion. Bron Breakker was stage 1, the title is stage 2, with Heyman then offering Jey a favour. That favour being Jey able to pick the night he loses the World Heavyweight Championship because Seth is challenging him for it. Any time, any place is the offer from Heyman. Jey says, "Okay, tonight." So now we await Adam Pearce to confirm the match.
Just before the match, we see Paul Heyman walking through backstage and up to Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker. Heyman says he can't believe Jey fell for it, with Seth saying, "I told you so." Seth walks off, leaving Heyman to bestow some pearls of wisdom upon Breakker. Heyman says that Reigns and Punk prepared for Seth at WrestleMania, but lost. Jey tapped out Gunther at WrestleMania for the title and is no easy day in the park. But with him being distracted by Logan Paul, has had no time to prep for Seth. Whereas Seth is focused on Jey as there's nobody left, with Heyman even calling Seth a sniper. So, my takeaway from this is about being prepared, focused and having a target. Bron will prepare and will be focused on his target, Seth Rollins. Yeah. With Rollins not even seeing it coming, as I think the two will clash at WrestleMania 42.
Possibly. Just before the first match of the night, which is Penta against JD McDonagh, we learn that Jey versus Seth for the title has been made official for later. Surely Jey can't lose. Yet. Anyway, to the match, where JD has Carlito and Balor at ringside. It's a quick start from both men, with neither missing a step, as Jey gets two count covers in, with Penta returning the favour and getting a 2 count cover in after chops and kicks. McDonagh misses a baseball slide into Penta, who's in the Tree of Woe, catching his little McDonaghs on the ring post, allowing Penta to hit his headstand corner routine, followed by a 2 count cover. 2 more near falls for Penta, one from a sling blade and the other from a tilt-a-whirl, nearly net him the win, so he decides to finish him off with a Mexican destroyer.
Only Balor distracts the ref, with Carlito then attacking Penta. This fails massively as Penta fights off Carlito and sends JD from the ring, before crossbodying the pair from the top rope. Penta throws JD back in the ring, but as he follows, Balor trips him, with the ref for once seeing it and ejecting the Judgement Day from ringside. While he's doing this, Penta gets up to the top rope, ready to attack JD, when Chad Gable appears attacking Penta. This fails though, as Penta's able to fight him off. JD then hits Whiplash and misses a moonsault, with Penta finally hitting a Mexican Destroyer and covering JD for the win.
Backstage, we see Grayson Waller speaking with Adam Pearce, saying he didn't know it was him and that changes everything. Austin Theory then rolls up with Waller saying he was selfish for trying to get himself a singles match and then offers the match to Theory instead. Theory says, okay, with Pearce asking if that's what they want to do. They both agree with Pearce then walking off. Austin asks who it's against, with Waller saying it's better as a surprise.
So, Austin Theory versus Sheamus. Two Irish curse backbreakers lead Sheamus to lock Theory into the cloverleaf, with Theory reaching the ropes and causing the hold to be released. Theory exits the ring with Sheamus following via the top rope and landing on him just before we hit a break. When we come back, we find ourselves back in the ring with Theory kicking the Irishman, only for Sheamus to slam Austin and set up for the beating of the bow rain. Austin counters though by dropping Sheamus on the rope and follows with a slingshot through the ropes. That's countered though with a knee to the jaw, with Sheamus covering for two. Sheamus then misses a top rope move and posts himself with Theory super kicking and blockbustering him, but only for a 2 count cover. Theory heads up top with Sheamus catching up to him and hitting white noise, which is followed by the beating of the bow rain. Austin then eats a brogue kick with Sheamus covering and getting the win.
We then hear that Dominic Mysterio will be defending his Intercontinental title at Backlash against Penta before we join the Judgement Day gang in their den. McDonagh wonders why Gable was out there when AJ Styles walks in. He says he's not bothered who wins at Backlash, he's coming for the Intercontinental title, with AJ then walking off. Dom then asks Balor to take care of Styles for him as his hands are full, which Balor reacts angrily to, saying, now it's my job to clear up your mess, before smiling and saying, I'm just messing with you, I'll sort it. Now he will.
We then see Chad Gable backstage when he's approached by the New Day. Kofi thinks he and American Made are due some respect, with Woods saying opportunities like getting title shots need to come back to American Made. Gable likes it when Becky Lynch appears. Woods says it's messed up what Valkyria did to her, with Lynch saying thank you before heading to the ring.
All the bad guys coming together there. Lynch is booed, then calls Bayley garbage and takes credit for Valkyria making history and getting the women's IC title. Lyra then heads out saying that Lynch didn't make her, admitting Becky did break the glass ceiling for women but had no intention of taking anyone to the top with her. Lynch says she doesn't like anybody and that her job is to beat everybody. Lyra lists Becky's achievements and then says that as long as she's here, she hopes Lynch likes second place. Becky attacks, but Lyra's ready and beats her to the punch, literally as the two of them fight in and around the ring. Match officials break them apart, but they manage to escape and continue to brawl. Becky goes for the manhandle slam, with Lyra reversing and hitting Nightwing, putting away the Irish last kicker.
Next out, Roxanne Perez versus IYO SKY. Fantastic flow to this match from the off, with both showing off their athleticism, speed and ability before both exchange dives out the ring. We hit a break and come back to find Sky arm dragging Perez from the middle rope and following up with punches and kicks before a cover for 2. A missile dropkick and stomp gets Sky another 2 count, with Perez then getting a 2 count cover after Sky missed her moonsault and Perez dropped a knee on the back of her head. We then go through their repertoire of pin combinations before IYO gets the last laugh and the last cover getting the 1, 2, 3. The pair shake hands, with Perez then leaving the ring and heading up the rampway. Sky watches on, but is then attacked from behind by Giulia, with Perez re-entering the ring and joining her NXT buddy in beating up the Women's World Champion. No mommy for the save, as she is in Australia.
Now, are these two, in now, or are they still NXTers? Because they've been on for the last few weeks, and I've not heard them say...
I think Perez is.
Yes. Why haven't they said it?
I don't know.
Why didn't they do a big announcement like they did when Valkyria came up last year? Or Hayes.
I think
I know it was part of the draft,
they do,
but why not just be
sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
now they're in. Anyway, up next, Rusev versus Otis. Otis with Dupree and Tozawa. The two are pretty even, with neither being able to knock the other down until Rusev pulls out a heel kick, putting Big Otis on the mat. When we come back from the break, we see Otis putting Rusev over the announcer's desk before the two scuffle and head back into the ring. Once in the ring, we get a pump kick from the Bulgarian before he locks in the accolade. Of course, Otis taps out, giving Rusev his first victory. Tozawa then steps up to Rusev after the match, but Rusev steps away and heads up the rampway. Dupree and Tozawa then tend to Otis, but Rusev heads back into the ring and powerbombs Tozawa onto Otis before posting Otis twice and putting him into the accolade again. Adam Pearce's officials head out, with Rusev finally breaking the hold.
Next, we hear from Pat McAfee and Gunther. The crowd chant, "You tapped out," with Gunther telling them to shut up before we hear from Pat. He bigs up Cole and Omaha, where Raw is coming from, before saying they both dreamed of becoming professional wrestlers, but now it's just a job to the Austrian and he's become too comfortable, adding that this version of Gunther has become soft. Gunther responds by saying that's just got him right in the mood for Saturday and that he's prepared, focused and gonna choke Pat out until he drops like a wet towel. And on Saturday, only the grace of God can lift his arms from Pat's throat. So, who's coming out to help Pat after he's lost? Ain't no way he's winning this.
Yeah, he can't win this. If he wins, it's ridiculous. We take another look back at the Cena-Orton rivalry, this time from 2009's Breaking Point in an I Quit match for the WWE Championship, which apparently Cena won.
I do like these little flashbacks, taking me back to the good times. Last match of the night, Jey Uso versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth with Breaker and Heyman. Seth channeled his inner Hannibal Smith when walking down the rampway by saying he loves it when a plan comes together. Seth gets in an early 2 count before the two exchange punches in the middle of the ring, with Rollins winning out and looking for an early stomp and pedigree, which Jey escapes both of. Seth then escapes the ring but returns and gets the best of the champ, while Heyman tries to start a whoa
Leave that to the crowd.
with the crowd. Jey fights back though, sending Seth through the ropes and then dives after him, sending him crashing over the announcer's desk.
We hit a break comeback and find ourselves back in the ring with Seth back in control and taunting a downed Uso. The two men then crossbody each other, with Jey responding quickest and laying the smack down to his opponent, followed by a Samoan drop and hip attack. The follow-up cover by Jey gets 2. Seth makes a comeback, diving out of the ring at Jey before springboarding off the top rope into a super kick and getting covered, again only for 2. A buckle bomb and missed frog splash from Seth see Jey then gear up for a spear, only for Seth to catch him mid-move and turn it into a pedigree and cover for 2.
Jey dodges a stomp and then locks in a sleeper, clearly Jey's new finisher, with Seth escaping only for Jey to hit a spear. Seth kicks out on 2. Jey heads up high next, with Seth following, only for Jey to kick him off and send him into the referee. With the ref fumbling around with Seth, Bron tries to pull Jey down, but Jey fends him off. This has brought Seth enough time to regroup and get up to Jey, hitting a superplex, followed by a Falcon Arrow and finally a stomp.
It's over.
Seth covers with Jey kicking out on 2. I thought that was it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Seth heads over to his corner man when we hear Sami Zayn's theme hit. Bron heads towards the rampway with Zayn coming from the crowd and attacking him. Zayn gets the best of the dog, and with Seth looking on, Jey super kicks, spears and Uso splashes the Visionary. Jey covers and Seth unbelievably kicks out on 2.
Sami tries to get the crowd going, but is then speared by Bron, which draws Jey from the ring to check on his buddy. As he does, Heyman gets on the apron. Here we go. Which distracts the ref, allowing Breaker free rein to spear Jey unchallenged. Bron throws Jey back into the ring, where the awaiting Seth stomps and then goes for the cover. Just as Seth reaches Jey, Cult of Personality plays out, and out comes CM Punk with chair in hand. Punk heads straight into the ring, taking out both Seth and Bron. Raw goes off the air with Jey seemingly having a new ally. Now, after Raw went off the air, Logan Paul attacked Jey as Jey was high-fiving around the crowd.
Yeah.
Paul coming from the crowd, just knocking him out, and then pretty much that was it. So that's clearly still building that, because I have a feeling that Punk and Seth will now go off in their own direction.
Yes, so it could still be
Yeah.
Jey and Logan at Backlash.
I can't see them squeezing. I mean, we've already got 5 matches. I can't see another one. But 6 on a standard, on a B card. I mean, it's not one of the top ones, is it? Really?
Yeah. True.
Yeah, because I think Seth going for the title, obviously that's his main aim, but it's too early to bring him into the title and then just win it. Because he will win it.
Yeah.
They will get it off Jey eventually, but you can't have it yet. It's too soon. You've just got to let Jey have it for a little bit. Because I thought he was going to lose it already. And I was ready to kick off and say, come on. Jey's worked so hard to get this.
Yeah.
He's so over. Yeah, forget that. And now you're taking it off him. And you're taking him off
on just
Raw.
a Raw. No.
You're not even letting him have it. But no. But if you can watch a match, Sky Perez, fantastic. Very quick. Flowed so well.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That is how a match should go, in my opinion. Other people may differ. Rusev versus Otis. It was what it needed to be. It was 2 big men squaring off. You always knew Rusev was going to win.
Yeah,
like he's going to lose.
Yeah.
Like he's going to lose his first match. But I enjoyed that match more than Miz and Aleister Black, which was his first match back. That was just Aleister Black being an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
I don't want to see kicks and punches. I want to see some wrestling.
Yeah.
Black, put some wrestling in, son. But Punk coming back, saving the day. Brilliant. As I say, I think Seth and Punk will now go and do their thing.
Yeah, they've got
allowing Jey to do his thing with Logan Paul. And then they will come back to one another.
Yeah, at some
and
point.
Seth will beat Jey.
SummerSlam?
I was going to say that, but maybe the one after.
But something like Survivor Series, something bigger or...
No, something between... No, it doesn't have to be a big one, but I think it will sort of be between SummerSlam and Survivor Series, something around there. Not those two, because I think those two will be focused. Those will be focused on Cena and Orton and whatever. But I think.
Any thoughts or views you'd like to share, then please feel free to leave them down in that comment section below.
Thank you again for watching.
And we'll see you Wednesday for a look at this past week in WWE, Thursday for our Backlash predictions.
That'll be fun.
And then Saturday when we look at SmackDown.